first speaker for the Dominica Grammar School, Renee, will give the rebuttal for 3 minutes, and then the first speaker for St. Martin's Secondary, Curtis, will give her rebuttal for 3 minutes. Then the judges will leave us and we'll have a little talk, a little deliberation. Hopefully I have some prizes to give, but we'll have a talk. And once the judges come back, we'll have the judges' critique by Mr. Landa, and then I will announce the scores, and then we'll have the prize giving ceremony directly after that. This afternoon, I'm being ably assisted by Ms. Shekai Andrew, who is my timekeeper. So she will let me know when there's 1 minute left, and I will raise my hand to show the speakers that there's 1 minute left. I'm sitting directly in front of them, and I will not put down my hand until they have, nodding that they see me. So hopefully they do that, quickly, and so my hand is not up for the whole minute. Yes? All right. Before I begin, I really want to thank the sponsors who have come on board for this year. We have some of the prizes. The Best Speakers Prize this year, this time, will be awarded by Finance Focus, and the tokens for the judges will be awarded by the Watering Can. We have Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited as our headline sponsor, and then throughout I will tell you some of the other sponsors who are involved. But in the meantime, I'm going to get ready to sit and hear some very interesting debates. And our topic again is the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future economic benefits for the genre. We're going to begin with Renee Talbot from the Dominica Grammar School, speaking as our very first speaker on the proposing side. Renee, come and stand here. I want to give you a little nod. You will begin.
Madam Moderator, honorable judges, esteemed audience, and worthy opponents, today we stand in resolute support of the motion that the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future benefits from the genre. In this debate, I will put forth compelling arguments on why Buyo is not merely a form of entertainment, but a national cultural asset that demands strategic investment. Additionally, I will demonstrate how its structured development can serve as a catalyst for tourism and economic expansion. Meanwhile, my esteemed colleague will delve into the critical aspects of creation of jobs, how youth development drives revenue growth, and the sustainability of Buyo. Before proceeding, it is imperative to establish a clear understanding of the key terms in this debate. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, to invest means to put money, effort, time, etc. into something to make a profit or get an advantage, while heavily refers to doing so to a great degree in large amounts. According to an article entitled Buyo, Dominica's Own Music, Buyo music is a unique blend of the island's traditional music and dance, namely bele, quadrille, jingping, mazuk, and kadas, pioneered by WCK during the late 1980s. To ensure is to make something certain to happen, Cambridge Dictionary. Lastly, future benefits refer to a helpful or good effect or something intended to help, Cambridge ND. In essence, the motion suggests that the government of Dominica should dedicate significant resources to developing Buyo music now so that the country can enjoy economic and cultural advantages in the future. With these definitions in mind, we will now present our arguments in favor of this motion. Firstly, Buyo is a national cultural asset. Buyo is more than just music. It's the heartbeat of Dominica's cultural identity. It pulses through our carnival celebrations, breakfast fests, and other events, defining who we are as a people. Yet, despite its undeniable cultural significance, Buyo remains underdeveloped on the global stage. But why? Because we have failed to recognize it for what it truly is, a national asset deserving of deliberate investment. Consider the success of Jamaica's reggae and dancehall and Trinidad's prominence by mere chance. Instead, they became global powerhouses through strategic government investment. In December 2019, the government of Jamaica allocated $10 million Jamaican dollars to bolster dancehall, reinforcing its commitment to cultural development. Jamaica did not stop there. Jamaica's Reggae Industry Association, JARIA 2021, affirms that reggae did not become a global force by chance. It took strategic investment in industry training, quality production, and international marketing. Similarly, an article entitled Reggae Music Connects Jamaica to the Global Community, February 8, 2025, highlights that the Jamaican government's successful efforts in securing reggae music's inscription on the UNESCO list of representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This means that reggae is recognized globally as a national treasure, protected and promoted at the highest levels. Trinidad and Tobago behaves in a similar fashion, investing $11.95 million into their soca monarch competitions, according to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, dated 11 February 2025. These investments have not only preserved their musical identities, but have also translated into massive economic gains during international recognition, tourism, and revenue. If these nations can recognize the power of their music, why can't we do the same for Buyo? Dominica stands at crossroads. Do we allow Buyo to remain an underdeveloped genre, overshadowed by the likes of soca and Afrobeats? Or do we take a stand and claim what is rightfully ours? A unique, electrifying music form that can shape our nation's cultural and economic future. Madam Moderator, it seems our opponents, in the words of Triple K, they want to see us dead and buried. They want to see us dead and gone. They want to see us down and out. But tufe. Judges, we need to tufe that spirit of negativity towards the genre. In an interview with us, one of Buyo's pioneers, Mr. Irwin Smokey Phillip, underscored the urgency for government intervention. The government should play a pivotal role in ensuring that music production meets industry standards. Without proper investments, we are at a severe disadvantage. His words ring true. Without strategic backing, Buyo will continue to lag behind, dominated by genres that have received the kind of support we have denied our own. If Buyo can draw tourists, create jobs, and put Dominic on the world map, why are we still waiting? And speaking of putting Buyo on the map, let's address the recent controversy with Trilogy, Juan, and Little Boy. Here, we have young Buyo artists making waves, bringing fresh energy to the genre, and yet their impact is being overshadowed by drama rather than direction. Instead of letting infighting and division stunt our progress, why not channel that passion into growth? Imagine if we had the proper structures in place: industry training, professional management, and government backing, so that our artists could focus on elevating Buyo rather than navigating unnecessary disputes. Therefore, government investment should also focus on training musicians in copyright law, song engineering, and digital distribution. Without these essential skills, foreign artists will continue to appropriate and profit from Buyo, leaving Dominica behind. Can we afford to let that happen? Can we sit back and watch our musical identity be stripped away and repackaged by outsiders? The answer is clear. The time to act is now. Let us follow the example set by Jamaica and Trinidad. Let us push for Buyo to be recognized as a national treasure. Let us demand investment in our artists, infrastructure, and international promotion. Only then will Buyo take its rightful place among the world's greatest musical genres. Will we continue to ignore our own creation, or will we embrace and elevate it? The choice is ours, but one thing is certain: if we fail to act, we risk losing more than just a genre. We risk losing a piece of Dominica's soul. Secondly, economic growth through entertainment tourism. Entertainment tourism refers to travel specifically focused on experiencing entertainment-related activities, events, and attractions. This includes visiting destinations for concerts, music festivals, film premieres, cultural performances, theatre productions, and other live entertainment experiences. Moreover, Shelley of Signal Band highlights Buyo's untapped potential. Right now, Buyo music is so influential that it can get people to come to Dominica, and that alone is enough for the government to invest in it. Interestingly, Buyo is already drawing tourists to Dominica. Goodwill Ambassador, Lisa Bantan's Breakfast Fest has grown into a marquee event, attracting thousands from the Caribbean and beyond. During this period, L'Express des Îles makes countless trips between Dominica and neighboring islands, transporting visitors who inject revenue into hotels, restaurants, and local businesses. An employee on the L'Express des Îles, in an interview with us, expressed sheer joy at the fact that the ferry makes additional trips during the Breakfast Fest weekend. My friends, why do you think Esa Bantan was made our Goodwill Ambassador? His vivacious promotion of our country through his Buyo songs earned him that position. Now, imagine if the government invested in a flagship Buyo festival akin to Jamaica's Reggae Songfest. The economic impact would be profound. Hotels at full capacity, increased airline bookings, bustling restaurants, and thriving street vendors. This is not speculation. It is a proven model of music tourism success. Judges, moderator, friends, let me end with this. Bullets find the rhythm, setting the pace. You can't just whistle while you work and hope for the best. If we don't act now, Buyo might find someone else to love it like I do. Thank you.
Talbot of the Dominica Grammar School, our first speaker there, and she spoke for 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Our first speaker for St. Martin's Secondary School is Curtis Simon. You have 10 minutes. Curtis, come forward. I'll give you a signal when you should start.
I hope you find someone else to love you like I do. My belly big like a cushion. If this song is played anywhere in Dominica, and in fact in many countries around the Caribbean, Madam Moderator, you can be guaranteed that young and old will be able to join you. That is the current impact of Buyo music. Good afternoon, Madam Moderator, distinguished judges, my fellow opponents, my associates, and you, the audience. My associates and I are here this afternoon to strongly oppose to the topic the government of Dominica should heavily invest in Buyo music to ensure future economic benefits from this genre. Let's define a few important terms. According to respiratory.com, Buyo is a mixture of rhythms, melody, and musical styles from genres such as soca, zouk, and other traditional genres native to Caribbean. According to Oxford Language, heavily is defined as to a great degree in large amounts. According to Oxford Language, invest is to put money into financial schemes, shares, property, or commercial ventures with the expectation of achieving a profit. Essentially, the topic condensed that the authority charged with the management of the country should, to a great degree, put large amounts of money into a specific Dominican genre of music in order to gain future benefits that will have an impact on the economy. While we do agree that Buyo music has seen significant strides, we strongly believe that it is absolutely not imperative that the government of Dominica invest heavily in Buyo music to ensure future economic returns. Our stance is based on the following 3 song points. Firstly, the Buyo suffers from a current limited global appeal and market, which is a factor that could severely hinder any potential for substantial return. Secondly, the opportunity cost of investing heavily in Buyo is simply too high and would divert vital and scarce resources from more promising and viable sectors. Finally, the success of this industry hinges on the unpredictable involvement of the private sector and community, introducing unacceptable levels of risk that the government should not undertake, but rather market-driven factors should determine the future economic benefits of Buyo. I will now elaborate on the crucial issue of limited global appeal of Buyo. Madam Moderator, can we honestly expect a significant return on the investment when the potential market for Buyo is at present so restricted? Can we justify committing limited resources in an industry which is currently generally appealing mostly to a niche market? Unlike genres such as reggae or soca, which has a more established global market and audience, Buyo currently does not capture the same level of attention, despite the immense success of Tilaji, Kwan, and Little Boy's Someone Else. According to the Sun Dominican newspaper, in an interview with Emil Deputer, he said, and I quote, "While Buyo music is widely recognized and popular in Dominica, the genre has not yet achieved the type of impact it should have had overseas." End of quote. Madam Moderator, I understand the government's desire to support artistic endeavors. However, Buyo does not yet have global appeal. In an OPED published on Dominican News Online, dated Wednesday, 22nd January, Professor Alex Bruno mentioned that the current drastic success of Someone Else is only the second Buyo song in more than 20 years to have had such a regional impact. Balance Batty by WCK is the only other Buyo song to have had a similar wild regional success. Balance Batty was released in 2005, Madam Moderator. This astonishing period of time between these two hits captures vividly just how unstable the likelihood of massive success of Buyo releases regionally and internationally are. The second crucial point I would like to enlighten is the significant issue of opportunity cost. As we all know, Dominica's resources, particularly our financial resources, are very limited. This, Madam Moderator, compels us to ask a very crucial question. Should the government dedicate these scarce funds to heavily investing in Buyo music? Or would those same resources be better allocated to vital infrastructure projects like roads, airports, health, education, and ecotourism facilities? Madam Moderator, according to the Dominica's newspaper, in the same interview with Emily Deporter, it was said that the high cost of traveling to and from Dominica and lack of tangible support are two of the bugbears restricting the progression of Buyo music. Madam Moderator, if the airport project is completed successfully, it will allow easier and more cost-effective international travel, meaning that event managers can book Buyo artists more cost-effectively for international travel. In fact, the very recent introduction of the non-flight of the United Airways is a step in the right direction. This type of investment, though not direct, benefits Buyo music without turning scarce resources to a very niche area. Finally, as we close, we assert that the success of Buyo may hinge on the unpredictable involvement of the private sector and community, introducing unacceptable risks that the government should not at all be a part of. Rather, market-driven factors should determine the future economic benefits of Buyo. If the government was to invest in Buyo, Madam Moderator, Buyo artists may not have the freedom of lyric creation due to censorship. Therefore, Madam Moderator, instead of a heavy reliance on government funding, the Buyo music scene could benefit more from private sector's investment and grassroots community support. This would help keep the genre authentic and prevent the government from potentially imposing a top-down approach that could stifle the national growth of Buyo. Mr. Delson, manager of the highly successful Michelle Henderson, said that it is not the government's job to directly invest into the private sector. Private sponsorships and partnerships with music festivals, international record labels, and local businesses can provide a more dynamic and market-driven approach to investing in Buyo, reducing the need for government intervention. Additionally, appointing successful individuals as brand ambassadors facilitates their professional journeys, and these avenues build community that develop various music genres. We have seen the success of Esther Bantan and Michelle Henderson in this capacity. In conclusion, Madam Moderator, heavy investment in Buyo is a speculative gamble. While the genre does have potential, there is no guarantee of widespread international appeal or sustained economic returns. Government funds are precious and should be invested in proven diversified strategies, not risky ventures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kines. And that was Kines Simon, and she spoke for 9 minutes and 54 seconds as the first speaker for St. Martin's Secondary School. Maybe they mentioned it earlier, I don't remember, but the coach for the St. Martin's Secondary School is Mrs. Daniela Lee. So, thank you very much, Mrs. Lee, for answering. And so we move on to the second speaker for the Dominica Grammar School proposing the topic this afternoon, and that is Zadi Shokan.
Respected moderator, honorable judges, and most competent teammates, good day. Today, we stand in full support of the motion. The government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future economic benefits from the genre. My teammate has already and I fully support those definitions. She has already laid the foundation for our argument, and I shall now expand by discussing 1. Creation of jobs, 2. How youth development drives revenue growth, and 3. The sustainability of Buyo. Now, let's get straight into it. Firstly, honorable judges, Buyo equals jobs and opportunities for our people. Music is not just sound, it is business. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry 2023, the global music industry is worth over $30 billion US. But how much of that is Dominica earning? By investing in Buyo music, thousands of Dominicans could find employment, not just as artists, but as producers, sound engineers, event planners, managers, and content creators. Who records the music? Who shoots the music videos? Who promotes the concerts? Every step in the process creates jobs and vast opportunities. Take Jamaica, for example. Reggae is a billion-dollar industry that supports entire communities. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization 2018, reggae significantly contributes to Jamaica's GDP through music sales, tourism, and festivals. Dominica has already seen this potential through events like the World Creole Music Festival and Breakfast Fest. Buyo artists and bands like Asa Bantan, Rio, Signal Band, and Triple K bring in massive crowds to these events every year, which in turn generates national revenue. So I ask, why aren't we expanding on this? Why are we holding back an industry that can harbor financial stability for thousands of Dominicans? Why should the government not invest in Buyo music now, at its prime? Magrisa. Secondly, Buyo music can change lives through youth empowerment. Let's face the facts. Youth unemployment in Dominica is cause for concern. The Caribbean Development Bank 2022 reports that approximately 12% of Dominica's youth are unemployed. And we all know what happens when young people have no opportunities: crime, poverty, and a lost generation. But there is hope. Music provides a path forward. A study by the British Council 2022 found that music education reduces crime rates and increases job opportunities for young people. Music teaches discipline, creativity, and entrepreneurship, all the skills needed for success in today's world. Dominica has already witnessed this transformation. Young Buyo artists like Trilogy, Rio, Kwan, and Shelley are proof that Buyo is more than just music. It is a career path. In an interview with us, Shelley of the Signal Band stated, and I quote, "There is no boundary to who can hear a song. The fruit of labor doesn't just bear for us, it bears for the country," end quote. This means that when a Buyo artist succeeds, the entire nation benefits. Buyo doesn't just uplift individuals, it builds an industry, strengthens communities, and brings global attention to Dominica. If this isn't enough reason for the government to invest heavily in it now, I don't know what is. My third and final point: investment in Buyo will sustain itself. Now the opponents might argue, but won't investing in Buyo be too expensive for the government? To that, we say absolutely not. In fact, it will pay for itself many times over. And here's how. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube allow artists to earn money globally from streaming revenue. Right now, Dominica is missing out on millions because our music industry lacks the proper funding and structure. Furthermore, look at Jamaica's Reggae Fest. According to the government of Jamaica, Ministry of Tourism 2019, it generates over $6 million annually. Imagine if we had a prominent Buyo festival that attracted more international tourists. Just imagine that. Additionally, the government can implement a music development fund. This will support artists in exchange for a percentage of future earnings. This means the industry will eventually fund itself while continuing to grow. So, I ask, if Jamaica can do it with reggae, if Trinidad can do it with soca, why can't we do it with Buyo? Are we going to let our music struggle while other nations build empires from theirs and even piggyback on Buyo? Absolutely not. As Trilogy rightly stated in a recent interview with us, and I quote, "Buyo is an organic export and is making a lot of money for our country right now," end quote. This means that Buyo is not just entertainment, it is a valuable cultural product with real economic potential. If we strategically invest in this growing industry, we can maximize its financial benefits and establish Dominica as a global leader in the music market. Honorable judges, we cannot afford to let Buyo remain an untapped resource. It has the power to create jobs and financial stability, empower the youth and reduce unemployment, and bring in millions of dollars through streaming, tourism, and festivals. Let me leave you with this. If we don't invest in Buyo, someone else will. And when that happens, we will have not only lost our music, but our opportunity for economic growth. The time to act is now. Let's claim Buyo as our own and make it a national treasure that benefits every Dominican. So, should the government of Dominica invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future economic benefits? In the words of Shelley, we say, yes, baby. We're getting stronger every day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Danny Jokad from the Dominica Grammar School, our second speaker there, and he spoke for 6 minutes and 43 seconds. The final speaker will be Rihanna Alexander from St. Martin's Secondary School, who's our second speaker there. I invite Rihanna to come forward, and I will give her a nod to begin. Rihanna, please clap for Rihanna.
Honorable judges, opponents, my colleague, and you, the audience, a pleasant good afternoon. My colleague has already clearly and convincingly demonstrated that it is not in the best interest of the country that the government should invest heavily in Buyo music in order to secure future potential economic benefits. It is my duty to finesse our position. I will do so by delving into two main points. Firstly, it is important for cultural evolution, especially of music, to occur organically. Planned government involvement into its artistic expression would negatively affect the genre. Secondly, the long-term economic sustainability of heavy investments in a single genre of music is questionable. Firstly, it is vital for cultural evolution, especially of music, to occur organically. This means that planned government involvement in this form of artistic expression should be limited as it will negatively affect the authenticity of this genre. The evolution of music worldwide has seen genre rise and fall in popularity due to changing tastes, influences, technological advancements, among many other reasons. World Music Views in this Caribbean Music Report of 19 February 2025 reveals the Caribbean music landscape is at the forefront of shaping global culture in 2024. The top Caribbean genres doing so are dancehall, reggae, soca, and calypso. The article goes on to say that the fast-paced growth of these genres were driven by digital revolution, especially streaming platforms, the authentic appeal of these genres, the enormous efforts of recording companies, and of private sector investments. These genres are growing, not because the government of the countries of region of these genres invested, but because the music has allowed to follow its natural course, bolstered by private sector involvement, wise business decisions, and exploiting advancements in technology. Madam Moderator, you were most dismayed to observe absolutely no mention of Buyo in this article. Further, analysis of data from the same report showed that Sean Paul of Jamaica had 1 billion streams on Spotify. 1 billion, Madam Moderator. Does the government of Dominica have sufficient resources to pour solely into Buyo to allow for any artist of the genre to compete or come anywhere near that? We know the answer to that. Further, for Dominica, investing heavily in Buyo music could be a short-sighted strategy because the global music industry is constantly evolving with new genres and cross-cultural influences emerging, making it difficult for the government to heavily invest in Buyo long-term as it may lose its cultural relevance over time. We assert that genre like Buyo should evolve without the need for the government investment. A UNESCO study argued that while music is an essential part of cultural heritage, public funds may be better allocated to preserving endangered traditions or supporting grassroots artistic initiatives. Secondly, Madam Moderator, the long-term economic sustainability of heavy investment in a singular genre of music is questionable. Economic sustainability of any investments demands a diverse approach rather than a singular focus. What makes the government think that a move of heavy investments on a single genre would sustainably bring returns? If we were to do an assessment of any large-scale government-run enterprise, we would note significant deficiencies in sustainability and profitability. Governments struggle to manage existing cultural programs. What assurance do we have that a large-scale investment in Buyo will be any different? The government in many instances has demonstrated a pattern of delayed payments and infrastructural insufficiency. A concentrated investment in Buyo without addressing existing problems will put us at a risk of replicating past failures. Instead, a wiser strategy would be prioritizing building an adaptable cultural ecosystem, one that will foster diverse artistic expression and equitable distribution of resources. This includes investing in foundational elements that indirectly but powerfully support Buyo's development. Mr. Nigel Peters, Investor Services Officer, is one proponent of this diverse approach. Ms. Marva Williams, CEO of Discover Dominica Authority, also believes a diverse approach is best. In conclusion, Madam Moderator, we are not dismissing the cultural value or potential of Buyo. However, given Dominica's present economical challenges that it faces, my colleague and I argue that heavily prioritizing it for substantial growth, for substantial government investments is not the wisest course of action. Dominica faces many pressing issues. Relying heavily on a single cultural genre, while valuable, exposes our economy to potential risks. A balanced approach would be investing in multiple sectors, ensuring greater stability and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rihanna Alexander. She spoke for 5 minutes and 58 seconds. So again, I just want to remind you of our topic for this afternoon. The government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future economic benefits from the genre. And we have Dominica Grammar School proposing, our first speaker is Renee Talbot, and she's assisted by Zadie Trocad. And on the opposing side is St. Martin's Secondary School. Kadej Simon is our first speaker, and she's being assisted by Rihanna Alexander. It is now time for the students to focus on the preparation of their rebuttal. So you and I are going to be quiet for 5 whole minutes. And Shekai, am I pronouncing that right? Yes, Shekai Andrew is going to continue to help me by securing the time for us and making sure that I stay on time. And so I invite the two teams to go ahead and prepare their rebuttal at this time. And then we will hear first from Renee Talbot of Dominica Grammar School and then from Kadej Simon for 3 minutes each. So you can set the clock now, Ms. Andrew, for 5 minutes of silence. Okay, so we have had 5 minutes for the preparation of our rebuttal. And now it is time for us to hear those. Again, our topic, the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buya music now to ensure future economic benefits from the genre. Rebuttal from the proposing side of Dominica Grammar School is Renee Talbot. She will have 3 minutes in which to give her presentation. Renee?
Madam Moderator, esteemed friends, today I stand before you once again to address the arguments that our opponents have brought forward. Judges, I don't even think our opponents are considered by the points they have brought here today. Opponents may argue that the government lacks funds or should focus on areas like healthcare, education, and they even mentioned the airport. However, as my colleague pointed out, Buya has the potential to sustain itself. The genre's global appeal presents an opportunity for investment. Opponents say that with government investment, the use of censoring artists won't have freedom with their lyrics. They are basically making our point, because Buya is a way of expressing emotions. And while censorship means that they censor the lyrics to make it cleaner for a wider audience, censorship does not mean to remove the entirety or entire meaning of the song. Imagine this. If the West Indies constantly lose, does that mean that we are going to stop supporting them? No, obviously not. In conclusion, opposition to Buya is mainly based on fear and misunderstanding. It's not anything but a genre with depth and potential. By embracing it responsibly and investing in it, Buya can bring cultural pride and economic growth to our nation. Judges, we believe that the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buya music now so that the country can ensure future economic benefits. Judges, Madam Moderator, we rest our case. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. She spoke for 1 minute and 51 seconds. And now, presenting the rebuttal for St. Martin's Secondary School, Kadez Simon. Kadez?
Madam Moderator, our opponent has claimed that Buya music grows the economy, but this is in fact untrue. Investment could lead to job creation, but as we said, Madam Moderator, the scarce resources of the country can be better allocated at the same time creates job. Secondly, they claim that Buya also promotes tourism. However, scarce resources should not focus on only one genre. Though through tourism authorities, festivals and events should be groomed. However, the investment of scarce resources should not be limited to a genre that is yet to prove itself. Additionally, artists themselves bear responsibility to be professional and motivated in developing their craft. Our opponents also talked about revenue of streaming and sales. Madam Moderator, around the region, private investment, record companies, and individual investments are what have prolonged the immense success of genres like reggae, dancehall, and soca. Regionally, no government has resorted to heavy investment to bring about about the success of the music. Why do we believe that here in Dominica that this should be the case? Madam Moderator, as we have spoke our point and told you why the opponents are not accurate, we hope that you take us into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cadet Simon. She spoke for 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I now invite Mr. Firelander, who is the Chief Judge, and his other judges, Mr. Philip Roll and Ms. Anika Bellot, to follow Ms. Daisy Williams out of the room right now so they can do their deliberations. Thank you very much. They will be back very soon, I hope. All right. So our topic for this afternoon has been that the government of Dominica should invest heavily in bouyon music now to ensure future economic benefits from the genre. The proposing team of Renee Talbot and Zadie Chokar are from the Dominica Grammar School, and for the opposing team, Curtis Simon and Rihanna Alexander are from St. Martin's Secondary School. The coach for the Dominica Grammar School is Mrs. Dorcas Francis Simon, and the coach for the St. Martin's Secondary School is Mrs. Dalina Lee. Not Lee, she used to be Nibs a long time ago, but she's Mrs. Lee now. The headline sponsor for the Inter-Secondary School Debating Competition for this year is the Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, but we also have the National Bank of Dominica, Republic Bank, Jay's Bookstore Limited, the Wasco, DBS Radio, Q95, Domlec, Morrow and Company, National Cooperative Credit Union, Fortune Hotel, HH Research and Company, Lindomat, Insurance Company of the West Indies, Fine Foods Inc., KFC, Catherine Abraham, Dr. Joshua Lloyd and Mrs. Carencia Lloyd, Civic Vibes, Maisel Pascal and Grace Foundation, Janine Christian, Freeman Consulting LLC. The partners of the Inter-Secondary School Debating Competition are the Dominica State College Literary and Debating Society, the University of the West Indies Global Campus, the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence, as well as Explicit Events and Rentals, and we thank them all. We have already had one successful competition in this round, and that took place yesterday between the Orion Academy at Westby High School, and Orion Academy won that debate yesterday. And so we have our competition today between the Dominica Grammar School and the St. Martin's Secondary School, and tomorrow will be the last one in this round. Okay, so while the judges are out, I wanted to talk a little bit with you, and I hope that you will engage me. I trust that we have a roving mic around, so we can talk for a little bit about the topic itself. So I invite the students to take a break now and go back and meet your coaches and your peers, and we'll call you back when the judges have returned. So feel free to go ahead and sit in the audience. So while the schools were debating, while our presenters were debating, I jotted a few of the points that I heard. And so I'd like your attention to return to me though. Oh, okay, all right. So that I can see if I got some of those points and we can generate a discussion. So when we spoke about the bouyon genre being supported more by the government, that the government should invest more in it, there was a discussion on the creation of jobs, on the sustainability of bouyon, and that bouyon is a way that young people can be empowered. We also spoke about Buyo being a national treasure and a cultural asset, as well as recognizing Buyo as a national treasure, and Buyo giving an avenue for training to be provided for people in terms of copyright law, sound engineering, and other things like that. And we also talked about the fact that a music development fund can be established to support Buyo music. In terms of opposing, we discussed that the Buyo industry suffers from a lack of global appeal. We talked about that, and that the opportunity cost for the promotion of Buyo is very high, and that the success of Buyo hinges on unpredictable measures, and it should really be driven by the market factors rather than government sustaining it. And we also discussed that the cultural evolution of music, just like any other art form, must happen organically and must not be forced through extensive promotion or support by the government, as well as long-term economic intervention will not yield benefits, or will be questionable whether it can yield benefits or not. So these were the things I heard while I was listening to the presentation as the students were debating. And so I have some questions for you, my wonderful members of my audience. And my first question is, are you satisfied that we are treating Buyo music as a business and not just for fun in Dominica? Are you satisfied that we are indeed treating Buyo music as a business and not just something that we do for fun? We have someone who already wants to have the mic, and that is Mrs. Lee.
Okay, from our research, as we delved into the viability of Buyo and whether or not the government should invest heavily in it, it became quite apparent that if we were to compare other Caribbean genres, in Dominica, we do not have professional approach to Buyo. Overwhelmingly, it seems that the artists, as we did the research, the artists feel that the government should be the ones to invest heavily in the genre in order to bring about economic returns. But as we looked at things like reggae and soca and so on, what we saw was that within these countries, there have been significant private sector investment. That is what is bringing about dramatic success. Also, the music has had a level of authenticity that resonates with people. When we looked at there was a Caribbean music report. That is one of the sources that the students mentioned. They did a research among millennials and Gen Zs. And what they are saying is that these young people are looking for music that reflects their heritage. Now, Buyo music does have the potential to do that. However, the artists are waiting on the government to do something to make it marketable, to make it successful. And what we're saying is that in other countries, although there is government input, the artists themselves are very professional in general about their craft. We've seen the dramatic success of Vibes Cartel. He's not waiting on the government for his promotion. And so I think that is one of the shortcomings that we observed in our research here in Dominica, that everybody is sitting waiting on the government to do something.
Anyone else wants to share? Are we satisfied that in Dominica we are treating music as a business and not just something that we do for fun? The judges want me back for a while, you know. So I have to for a while. So I'm just letting you know that. Nobody else wants to share? Are we treating, it was grammar school who said that. Choka, do you want to just enlighten us on what you meant by that in terms of we're not treating it as a business? Can you pass the mic to him, please? So you can just give us a little explanation as to whether he thinks that we are not treating it as a business and we're just having fun with it. What do you think?
Miss, well, in my debate, I was saying that music is not, that Buyo is not just a music, it is a business. So we should actually tell the government there's an opportunity for growth, so you should invest in this. Mm-hmm. Although the artists sometimes they wait on the government for a little bit of help, mm-hmm. But I mean, most of these things they produce, it's there that creates their words, their lyrics, their songs, their promotions, their like every event they have. They push themselves to say like, guys, we performing, come here and see us. So like I think, and as you say that we're waiting for the government to invest. That is not entirely true. And yes, it is a business for the government to invest in. Because like just like any other sector, like the health sector and the tourism sector, the government, the people waiting for the government to invest in it. So they should not just say that for the other things, the other sectors, but they should say that for Buyo too.
Okay. My next question, thank you very much. My next question is, what are some of the ways that music can generate income for young people, do we think? What are some of the ways that we think that music can generate income for young people? Anyone? What are some of the ways that music can generate income for young people? Ms. Christian, do me a favor and always make sure there's a lot of debate society members here because they're typically the ones who answer my question. I see a few of them in the room. I'm going to ask the question again. What are some of the ways that music can generate income for young people? I know you just read, but you have to help me out. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I feel that one of the things that we downplay a lot when we talk about music and Buyo specifically is that we have some people have a lack of understanding in the industry. Some people don't have the knowledge as to the opportunities that are available. So when we talk about Buyo, let's forget about Buyo and just talk about music in general. We have opportunities in writing, in mixing, in mastering, in the capturing of the video content, the graphics, the album arts that we see on Apple Music and stuff when we go on. We have opportunities in distribution, in management, in a lot of things. So there are opportunities for people in terms of getting into those things and learning for themselves and creating a career out of it. So, and on another note, I wouldn't say entirely that people are just waiting on the government to give an input in Buyo and the music industry in Dominica. But there are certain ways, I believe, and little ways that they can help. For example, in customs, it costs a lot to bring in, for example, cameras and audio equipment. These equipments are not cheap. Professional equipment that we can use to drive the industry and to create the quality of music that we say we lack in Dominica. It costs, and at the end of the day, bringing in those equipment, why we're paying double, sometimes triple to do those things. So to say that, yes, the private sector can input into it, but our private sector, we're not talking about other countries. We need to look at ourselves and be honest about the state that things in. And I think that one of the issues is that we have been downplaying Buyo since the inception of Buyo. And the reason why we can find research that supports Buyo as a genre when we research online and so on is because it has not been established. And that is what the artists and so on are fighting and looking to get it recognized as a genre on the global scale. That way we can start seeing those results online, etc.
Very good, thank you so much. Go right ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to add something. I do have a very good friend of mine in the United States who's a Dominican who's living there now, and that's how he makes his money. He produces music for the artists to the extent where he was part of the producing team who got nominated for one of the Grammy songs. And that is how, the thing is he had to leave because as far as he was concerned, there was no income stream for him here. There was no way for him to get where he needed to get. And for him to get where he is now, he had to move. And for him, that was one of the better decisions for him because at this point, he is getting income. He's making money that way by just producing music for all of the hip-hop artists in America. So there is income to be had in this genre. It is difficult to get it here for many factors and reasons. But I don't want persons to be discouraged, especially because we know a lot of young people are interested in music, in writing, in singing, in dancing, in creating those things. I do think there is an avenue for it. We need to try to push it and promote it because that's an outlet for some of them, and for some of them that's what they love. For me, I love singing and I dance. So I do think we need to find a way to get it out there more. And not just Buyo, music in general, because we have artists who are not only Buyo artists, we have some jazz ones, we have some soulful ones, we have R&B ones, and even those artists, you don't really hear much about them. I see a few of them singing at the Katai, but then we don't really have anywhere after this. What do they do?
Very good, thank you. My next question is, are we satisfied with the lyrical content of the Buyo products currently? Are we satisfied with the lyrical content of the current Buyo products? Mic is open, floor is open. The judge is not coming back anytime. All I remind you, we satisfied. Mrs. Lee wants to take it for a shot. I'm hopeful that the students of the Dominica Grammar Schools in such a large number to support their students can tell us whether they're satisfied with the lyrical content of the Buyo music genre. But go ahead, Mrs. Lee.
Even before I address your last question, I think in terms of the government involvement, there are other measures besides financial ones or that should be pursued. An enabling environment is necessary. The young man mentioned customs. But this is an enabling environment. When we have things like duty-free, maybe that is something that should be considered, that music equipment should be made duty-free so that these artists can buy and use top quality equipment so they have top quality products. Additionally, the government involvement, again, does not have to be solely a financial one. So you're looking at training, you're looking at education, you're looking at so many other avenues rather than a financial one. So I think that is an important consideration for the genre. And just for music in general, just for the whole artistic sector in Dominica. In terms of the lyrics, I think we have the whole concept of the whole service sector of nasty business, and I know that is a concern for many people, myself included. I have children, I have a young child, and it is shocking how quickly these little people pick up every single word of the song. And I think when we have a society where there is no censorship, so to speak, or no sense of appropriateness and time of certain music, then that is very concerning. So you go on the bus, you're in the supermarket, you are walking, and you are bombarded by these extremely explicit lyrics. And I don't think that the average person should be subjected to these kinds of lyrics. So that is a concern for me. But on the other hand, you have artists who are really trying to get some more palatable and fun-loving, wide-appealing music. So we have again the success of someone else. In our research report, this had over 5 million views on YouTube. So it's increased recently?
6.6.
Okay, so it's extremely appealing. And why is that? Because it appeals to everybody. There's nothing foul in it and so on. So I think the artists need to look at that. If you want to have a certain measure of global appeal, you have to look at how you balance lyrics. And I know some people are going to mention the dancehall lyrics, we know that they too. But again, there are also concerns within that genre as to the explicit nature of, the lyrics of the song.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lee. The question is still, are we satisfied with the lyrical content of the Buyo products? Could you pass the mic over to the Dominica Grammar School student who has a hand up?
As much as I agree with Ms. Lee, I just think that making our artists censor words is just oppressing their sort of their free will. So making them cut back on the way that they express themselves is just, I don't think that's completely fair, because yes, some people might have very explicit lyrics, but for the others that have maybe minor lyrics that are not appealing to others does not mean that you should stop what you're doing or stop what you love because of those people. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Are we satisfied with the lyrical content? Yes, Mrs. Christian?
I wanted some of my students to comment before I did. So Elianet, I'm looking, they're not commenting, so I don't know. Elianet, I'm looking at you and I don't know Kishma, with the Dominican State College, somebody to comment. I had answers to all your questions. Dr. Joseph, I wanted to start, before I address the lyrical content, I wanted to start with do we see real music as, something business, or is it just for fun? I think largely we see it as something that is just being done for fun, and that mindset is what needs to change to first start to propel the genre in the direction that I think it can go. I am admittedly a bouyon lover. That is the only genre that I listen to on a constant basis, and during the carnival season I listen to calypso. But I am a die-hard bouyon fan, and now as it relates to lyrical content, what I often say is the music and its lyrical content. There's a chicken and egg sort of philosophy that I apply to this. Is the lyrical content a reflection of society and what it is evolving into, or is the music, supposedly perverting society? And I tend to have the opinion that the music is a reflection of society. So if we hear crude lyrics, if we hear lewd lyrics, if we hear lyrics that are glorifying sexual activity or glorifying drugs, we have to take a closer look at what societally is propelling that type of lyrics to be prominent in our music, and also what is propelling the young people and the people who listen to it to gravitate to some of those lyrics so keenly. So I feel like there's a bigger conversation when we talk about the lyrics. I am concerned about some of the lyrics, true, but is it that this is what society is evolving into currently? Do we need to look at other areas that need consideration so that we see different sort of things being promoted in music? So if I'm listening to music and it's all about drugs, then we have a drug problem. So that is what I think about lyrics. But I was very interested in hearing what the younger people have to say, because I am an old bouyon fan, but I know the younger people are young bouyon fans, because that's what, when I mention calypso in any classroom, all the students watch me very blankly, and so I know that they're not listening to calypso. But if I talk about any bouyon song, they will know it. So I want to hear from them, because they must have an opinion on the music that they are listening to primarily. That is what it seems like to me. So I want to pass the mic to a member of the Literary and Debating Society of the Dominican State College to give her opinion, and Kishma at the back also.
I agree.
Right, so I want to hear from them, not the old bouyon fan that was there in the Balance Batty days that the debater reference, but a new bouyon fan.
Yes, so my question remains to the Debating Society of the Dominican State College. Are we satisfied with the lyrical content of the bouyon product currently?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I love bouyon, but in some, like certain different songs, you can really see that lyrics are not really censored anymore, that some lyrics could be, like it could have the same content, but some lyrics could be masked. Because at the same point in time, like we have all the listeners, but we also have the younger ones who pick up those little things. And when you pass in and you hear the children saying those kind of things, it shocks you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly love bouyon, but I feel like certain songs, the content could remain the same, but they could mask it a little more. So it could, take like a while for the children to understand what's really going on, to be honest.
All right. Anyone else? I need someone to go get my judges for me. So somebody from the committee, please go and remind the judges that it is 5 minutes to 4. But I will take another contributor from the Dominica State College to talk about are we satisfied with the lyrical content of the Booyah product. Anyone? No? Okay, yes, Miss Andrew, hold on.
Okay, so personally, I don't listen to Booyah, and I don't mean that as like I have anything against it. It's just not my type of genre of music. However, I do hear it. I mean, if you live in Dominica, you're going to hear Booyah. As you said, you can hear it on the bus, you can hear it while you're walking, you can hear it anywhere, but it's not something that I take time out to go and listen to. However, I do agree with what Ms. Christian said, that it is a reflection of society, because at the end of the day, the artists are producing, they are creating basically what the youth wants. When they have events, the 90% of the crowd are the people who want to do it, which are the volume.
Right.
And it is a reflection of what's going on, because they're singing that song with all their soul, with all their chest. And they know very well that is what it is for them. They know that that is what's going on, that's what they see in their daily lives. And it's maybe a stretch. However, do I think that masking the lyrics will change what the younger ones are saying? Absolutely not. I don't believe that that will create any type of change in what we hear from our youth. They will still find ways to talk about nasty business. It's still embedded, I mean, you're walking on the road, as Krishna said, and you're hearing those little children saying atrocious things. Yes, it stems from the nasty business music, but even if the masking of it, I still think that it will still be as prominent as it is now. And in terms of the decency of the lyrics, as I said, I listen to Booyah, I listen to worship Booyah, I listen to praise Booyah, so I can't give you my one-on-one on that, but that is what I have to say.
Thank you very much. So we come to the end of our little discussion as we wait for the judges. Mr. Firelander and his team, comprising of Mr. Philip Roll and Miss Annika Bellat, have returned to the room and they are ready for us and we are ready for them. So I now invite our speakers from the Dominica Grammar School, Renee Talbot and Sally Troka, to come forward, as well as from the St. Martin's Secondary School, Curtis Simon and Brianna Alexander. Please come forward and take your seats. I am going to remind you that our best speaker prize for today will be donated by Finance Focus, and our judges' tokens are donated by the Watering Can. I will invite Mr. Firelander. I see his notes are on the back of my score sheet, so I'm going to let it lay flat like that. I'm going to invite him to come and give his critique without lifting the paper, and then I will take it from him and announce the results. So Mr. Firelander, Chief Judge, please welcome him to the podium.
Good afternoon to everybody. I want to take this opportunity before I begin with the critique to, on behalf of the judges, to congratulate both teams on a job well done. And I would just, as we know, this importance of this section of the presentation of the debate is to ensure that the team who is moving forward is given sufficient information and sufficient guidance so that in the next round we see even more improvement. And in years gone by with the intersecondary school debate competition, we've seen that many schools have taken the notes from the judges and have moved forward and have even emerged as winners in the ultimate end. So please, both schools, please listen, and hopefully you do take our advice. We'll begin with what went well. I must say, generally, the judges were in full agreement that there was very good use of eye contact with the audience this afternoon, and a big improvement we're seeing, and give them a round of applause. And I just want to call caution both schools generally and and I know there may be schools looking online. Please, the use of material in a debate is supposed to be used as a guide, not necessarily a script for reading. As a debate, you get your points from your document and then you present eloquently. And we must take this opportunity to recognize that the person who was selected as the best speaker this afternoon was very eloquent, had very good command of material, had very good understanding and good posture, and did not really need to refer to their notes as much. So I want to congratulate that individual and wish you all the best as you move forward in your debating career. Also, clarity is very important. You have a mic, yes, but your mic only gets what comes out of your mouth. So therefore, pronunciation of words is very important. If you have information, you have a script, worse yet, you have to ensure that the words coming from your mouth are pronounced appropriately and correctly, as well as the pronunciation of persons' names. Especially if you're quoting somebody, you have to ensure, especially national icons, if you recognizing somebody, you want to ensure that you pronounce their name correctly. And that will, in research, if you're talking to somebody, how do you pronounce your name? That will help you as well. In terms of improvements, it stems from one of the points that went well. It was a very well-researched debate this afternoon. Both sides did their research. Both sides did various interviews, but we want to caution in terms of the use of citations. When you use citations, we want to ensure that the date is provided in terms of when you would have conducted said interview or when the information was obtained, as well as when it was initially obtained, if you're using an article, so that your content and the comments that you're utilizing remain relevant and are accurate to the mood that you are presenting. Because what can eventually happen is that you bring up a point from an article that has passed, and it totally destroys the point that you're actually saying because it is no longer relevant. And understand, the judges that are here, we don't just wake up and come and judge. We do our research as well. We know about the information that you are talking about. So if we use an article, for example, that talks about an investment, for example, in a particular genre, and we know that it is not necessarily what you are saying, it can affect the soundness of your points. And the final point I want to just bring into consideration is that of the rebuttals, and this goes to all debaters. The rebuttal is supposed to be a point of a summative point within the debate. We are now recalling what has happened and also refuting the points of our opponents. It has to be done in such a way that you ensure that we are taking a recall of what has happened and not the introduction of new points. We didn't see that this afternoon, but I just want to ensure that that is noted. And taking note from the judging criteria, team coordination, which is allocated 10 points. Those 5 minutes that you're given, guys, young ladies, and young man and women, those 5 minutes are for you to discuss with each other as a team. Take your time. Look at the debate as a whole. So whole time you're supposed to be taking notes throughout the debate. So when you get to those 5 minutes, you are now saying, I want to say this, I want to say that. Secondly, the recall of points. That is the moment in which you know this is what was said, and they are now refuting it in this way. And your refutal needs to be in such a way that you are accurate and correct, and not destroy your point with your rebuttal. And finally, spontaneous, pre-prepared rebuttals are not allowed in debates. And unfortunately, I think Ms. Bellot would love for us to be able to develop further points for pre-prepared debates, pre-prepared rebuttals, that is. However, you need to ensure that you are doing it in the moment. Nothing scripted, because it is obvious. when you come up and you're looking at the notes you wrote, and then you're going back to a pre-prepared script, and then you get lost, and then you get confused. That being said, mistakes, please, if you make a mistake while you are speaking, it's better to pause, start back again, than you make it so obvious that a mistake has occurred while you are speaking, because it then removes focus, it becomes distracting, and also throws you off as a speaker. So that being said, congratulations to both teams, and looking forward to improvements from the team that is moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Lander, as well as Ms. Anika Bellot and Mr. Philip Roll, who are our judges for this afternoon's debate. And so, I have to tell you that in addition to the three winners of this round, yesterday, today, and tomorrow's winners, the core team, the coordinators have decided that a fourth school, a school that has the tightest margin, and the smallest loss, in this round, round two, will be moving on to the next round to ensure that there are 4 schools for the next round of competition. Okay? But like Christ said, tomorrow we'll have troubles of the school. Yes? So let us concentrate on today. All right. So our debate this afternoon was between the Dominica Grammar School and the St. Martin's Secondary School. Our topic, the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Boyo music now to ensure future economic benefits for the genre. Dominica Grammar School proposed, and St. Martin's Secondary School opposed the topic. Dominica Grammar School, I should give the best speaker first. All right. So the best speaker for this afternoon's debate is Mr. Zadi Choki. Congratulations, Mr. Jani. And okay, so in terms of the points now, the proposing school, the Dominica Grammar School, had a total of 636 points, and the opposing school, the St. Martin's Secondary School, had a total of 515 points, making the Dominica Grammar School, or proposing school, our winner. Williams, who will do the prize giving, after which I'll come back and just dismiss us all. So I invite the 2 ladies to come forward and do their prize giving. Clap for them.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, for putting me on the spot here. Let's give our prizes. First, we will award the best speaker, Mr. Trocard. Reminder, the best speaker prize this afternoon was sponsored by Finance Focus. And now the runners-up from the St. Martin's Secondary School can come forward to receive their consolation prizes. However, based on what the moderator just said, we don't know if they are possibly the school that can make it to the semi-finals. After tomorrow, we will know for sure. Congratulations to St. Martin's Secondary School, and the winning team from the Dominica Grammar School will now be awarded their trophies. The speaker. And Zadi. ending up in the finals, in which the grand prize is a trip, all expenses paid to St. Lucia. So that's why they're aiming for the bigger prize at this point, right? The coach of the team that is not, at least this afternoon, we don't know if that team will be making it to the semifinals. The coach from the St. Martin Secondary School, that's Mrs. Reed. We do have a token of our appreciation for you and your hard work in assisting your students to get to this level of competition. And we also have some tokens for the judges for their role in this afternoon's debate. Chief Judge, Mr. Kyle Landa. And Mr. Philip Roll, Senator Roll. And these prizes for the judges are sponsored by the Watering Can. The owner of the Watering Can herself is a judge, Miss Annika Bellot, so we're giving her something different. Miss Bellot, please come up for your token. And judges, thank you so much for your effort this afternoon. Without you, we would not be able to proceed with this debate. And of course, the moderator, the lovely Dr. Kimon Joseph, who is always ready to assist with debating and the inter-secondary schools debating competition. Thank you so much. And this is a congratulations once again to all the students and particularly the Dominica Grammar School who will be moving on to the semi-finals. As I like to say, like I'm in a Calypso arena, see you at the semis. All right, Dr. Joseph, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Christian and Mrs. Williams, for assisting with the prize giving. Our congratulations to the winners as well as to the students of St. Martin Secondary School. I always say it takes a lot of guts to come and do a debate and to present. I just think the majority of Dominicans have never done what you've done. So, and a lot of them cannot do what you have done this afternoon. They will fall apart. And so congratulations to all our speakers this afternoon. Thank you very much for your service to your school and for your service to the National Debate Competition. And I want to thank the students from the Dominica State College Literary Debating Society for their assistance this afternoon. And special thank you to Shekai Andrew, who has been my timekeeper for this afternoon, our judges, coaches, students who came to support the students from their schools, all the members of the committee serving for this year's debating competition of inter-secondary schools. Thank you so much. I'd be grateful if we all stand so that we can end in prayer and I can dismiss you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this afternoon, for being in our midst and for guiding our proceedings. We thank you for the students who are going to be moving forward. May you bless them and bless the rest of this competition. As we all journey home, we ask for traveling mercy in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen. Let's sing Be Glorified again. So we are going to learn a new song today. So we'll sing By My Life and then By My Work. After 2, 1, 2. By my life, Lord, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified by my life, Lord, be glorified today. By my work, Lord, by my work, Lord, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified, be glorified
Okay. So, the Dominica Grammar School has made it to the semi-finals of the Intersecondary Schools Debating Competition, which will be on March 18th, and they get to dip the topic that they will debate in the semis at this time. You are the lucky person? Okay. Please open up and you can read the topic that you have got.
AI-driven platforms should be heavily regulated to protect young people's cognitive ability, creativity, and privacy.
So they have gotten the topic on AI and whether or not it should be heavily regulated to protect young people's creativity and their, what else? Their creativity and their ability, cognitive ability and privacy, and they will be proposing. So we look forward to that in the semi-finals. Thank you and congratulations.
This has been the Intersecondary Schools Debating Competition 2025. Today we had the Dominica Grammar School and the St. Martin Secondary School opposing on the topic, the government of Dominica should invest heavily in Buyo music now to ensure future economic benefits from the genre. Of course, we have the Dominica Grammar School as the winners today. We have the news for joining us this evening, and do join us tomorrow for the other debate on the topic during festive seasons in Dominica. There should be a 9 p.m. curfew imposed on adolescents, and in the age of 18 we have the PHR Secondary School proposing and the PSS.